For simplifying complex fractions, you need to have the main fraction bar identified so that you can kind of see what you're doing. So I'll go ahead and highlight those in each one of these problems. And I can tell you right now, I'm not going to have enough space to do all of these, so this final one I'll move down in a few moments. For right now, I'll work on the other two. So you want to simplify the numerator and the denominator separately as much as you can. I'm going to put all binomials in parentheses. Okay, so for the numerator, this part, I've got 3 over w plus 8 plus 4 over w minus 6. So when I add those together, what I do is I multiply the bottom, but since they're already factored out, I don't want to actually literally multiply them. I'm just going to put them in parentheses and write them down. So w plus 8, just slide them over, times w minus 6. Now you cross multiply the top. Now these are multiplied out, so 3 times w is 3w, and 3 times negative 6 is negative 18. Notice I had to do the 3 times everything in the parentheses across from it. Then I had a positive 4. So 4 times w is a positive 4w, and 4 times 8 is a positive 32. Okay, putting my w's together, I have 3 and 4 more, that's 7 w's, and then negative 18 plus 32 is a positive, let me think here, 14. Now that can be factored again. I can factor a 7 out of that. So 7 and a w takes 7 out, that's a w left, plus sign. 14 divided by 7 is 2. Okay. And then this denominator just gets slid all the way across. So that is the numerator when you simplify it. Now the denominator is just one thing. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and put it underneath this, the numerator that I figured out, 7 over w plus 8. Okay, now I'm going to deal with the complex fraction part. I'm going to get rid of the fraction. So to do that, you need a fraction bar. I make it rather long. Everything on the outside goes on the top. So I have a 7, a family of w plus 2, and a family of w plus 8. Everything on the inside goes on the bottom. So I have a w plus 8, I have a w minus 6, and that 7, I'll put it out front. I always put the numbers themselves out front, the families at the end. So anything that's the exact same thing on the top cancels with the bottom. So 7 cancels. I have a family of w plus 8. You can't cancel within the family unless you cancel the entire thing. So the whole family has to be the same. So like for the w plus 2 and the w minus 6, some people accidentally cancel out the w's. You can't do that because it's part of a family. You can't split families up. So anything that doesn't cancel, on the top I have w plus 2. On the bottom I had a w minus 6 that did not cancel. That's your final answer. On this next one, the numerator is already simplified. I'm just going to put parentheses around the binomial. So I'll come over here and write down the numerator. 3 times x plus 1. I've got to deal with the denominator. So I'll put the binomials in parentheses. Everything on the bottom you slide over and put it together. So x minus 3 times x plus 1. Cross multiply. 9 times x is 9x. 9 times 1 is a positive 9. Now this negative here, that goes with 6. So that's negative 6 times x is negative 6x. Negative 6 times negative 3 is a positive 18. So that means 9x take away 6x is 3x. 9 plus 18 is a positive 27, and the denominator is just going to stay the same the whole way through. Okay, that can be factored because we can divide those by 3. 3 and 27 can be divided by 3, so take a 3 out. So I have a 3 and an x. I took a 3 out, that's an x left, plus sign. 27 divided by 3 is 9. And like I said before, the denominator just gets slid across the entire time. Okay, that's the denominator simplified. So now I take care of the complex fraction. The outside goes on the top. So I have a 3, and I have a family of x minus 3, and a family of x plus 1. The inside goes on the bottom, so I have a family of x plus 1, and a 3, and a family of x plus 9. Top and bottom cancel, it's the exact same thing. So 3 cancels, family of x plus 1 cancels, the x minus 3 didn't cancel, and the x plus 9 didn't cancel. So x minus 3 over x plus 9 is the answer to that one. On the next one, taking the numerator, I'm going to put the binomials in parentheses. Everything in the denominator just gets copied down, just side by side, because you're technically multiplying those. Cross multiply the top. 2 times x is 2x. 2 times negative 7 is negative 14. Go the other direction. This is a positive 2. 2 times x is 2x. 2 times 3 is positive 6. So that means I have 2x plus 2x. I have 4x. Negative 14 plus 6 is a negative 8. I can factor a 4 out of that. So 4 and an x, I take the 4 out. That's an x, minus sign. 8 divided by 4 is 2. Okay, and you're going to just slide that denominator all the way across. So x plus 3 times x minus 7. Okay, now for this denominator. Binomials in parentheses, and put those on the bottom. So x minus 7 times x plus 3. Cross multiply the top. 1 times x is 1x. 1 times 3 is a positive 3. Go the other direction, it's a positive 4. So 4 times x is 4x. And 4 times negative 7 is negative 28. So I have 1x plus 4x is 5x. And 3 minus 28 is a negative 25. I can factor a 5 out of that. 5 and an x, take the 5 out, you have your x. Negative sign, 25 divided by 5 is 5. The denominator, the bottom, oops, just gets slid across. So I've got x minus 7 and x plus 3. Now you deal with the complex fraction. Outside on the top, so I have a 4 and an x minus 2 and an x minus 7 and an x plus 3. Inside on the bottom, so I have an x plus 3 and x minus 7, a 5, and an x minus 5. Okay. 4/5 doesn't simplify. X minus 7 cancels. X plus 3 cancels. Final answer is 4 times x minus 2 over 5 times x minus 5. Don't multiply those back out. Leave them just like they are because to be truly simplified all the way, you want parentheses.